So, did you feel or are you feeling a cultural shift? The conservatives, and this is largely due to you younger people, thank you, are getting so much better at engaging the culture and doing it online. I'll give you one very crisp example, two things, but an attempt to meme Trump from the left and a memeing of Trump in a campy, ridiculous, would-be cringy way if it wasn't done so well by people on the right. There is an opportunity for this to get even better for conservatives because Kamala Harris is probably the most memeable person in politics. And there's this. She doesn't even need to be memed because she is her own meme denigrating herself. Do you feel this cultural shift? I do feel a cultural shift. I'm sort of observing it. Here's an example. This is a guy who went to prison for speech. He said things outside the White House that the figureheads people did not like. His name is Owen Schroyer. He works for Alex Jones, or with him. I don't know the arrangement. I think for him. And he took a screen grab during the figurehead's speech. I'd said the other day that I don't have any reason to believe this is live. Were there reporters in the room? Why would I think this is live? Why would I think they wouldn't do multiple edits of this? We just talked about this yesterday in the weird bruising on the figurehead's face. And he writes, Biden's watch clearly says 6:13. He gave his televised statement at 8 Eastern. Last night's live stream was clearly recorded. Now, it could be that the figurehead can't tell time anymore, therefore his watch is a prop. And it legitimately could be that his watch is a prop. He may not ever look at time. It could also be that it's set to a different time zone, but then it would not be at 8:13 or 6:13 unless this is 15 minutes into speech. But the easiest explanation is, yeah, they taped this in advance. I don't think for a second they were going to allow the figurehead to actually give a live statement to you. Why would they do that? He fumbled that one to a degree, and he looked sick, and he looked to me like he either took a bad fall or a not bad, but a face-slapping beating, like the one we talked about that Harry Reid clearly took in Las Vegas. That wasn't a Bowflex that did that to Harry Reid. So there is a switching in pop culture. That's very, very effective, but it's not funny. It's interesting. It's also not conclusive, but it sure adds up into a pattern that we see. Benjamin Netanyahu's speechwriters are paying attention to American pop culture in meme land. This is Netanyahu addressing the United States Congress, and it's lame. It's English. I don't think it's his first language. It's a lame timed joke. It's not particularly funny unless you've never seen the meme 10,000 times. But it shows that right-leaning memes are gaining recognition by powerful people like the people who write speeches for Benjamin Netanyahu.
It's amazing, absolutely amazing. Some of these protesters hold up signs proclaiming gays for Gaza. They might as well hold up signs saying chickens for KFC.
The explanation we don't need on this program. Everybody understands it, but for people who might be seeing this for the first time, what he's referring to is the fact that if you live in the Palestinian territory, if you live in what they call Gaza, in Hamas's territory, and you are openly same-sex attracted and promoting it, you're going to get murdered in gruesome ways. Eventually going to get murdered in gruesome ways. Now, of course, the brave Muslim fighters have in the Quran permission to enslave boys for pleasure in sex, but that's not really being same-sex attracted. That's just perversion. But they somehow get this waiver thing. But that's the Quran, which is why we don't go around praying to false gods. Republican National Committee. Just don't do it. It's the Dukes of Hazzard. And if I tried to get this pushed through the RNC, here's exactly what I would have heard. Are you kidding me? A Confederate flag in that car, Todd, they're going to call us racists. And I had countless conversations like this. They're going to call us racists. And I before I grew to understand the game, I would say, guys, they are going to call us racist no matter what we do. We should make fun of that. We should take that on until they understood something. Many of the people who work in Republican politics aren't all that Republican. They had to choose a team. Think of it this way. You want to work in politics. You want to work in politics at a high level. You want to work at politics at a high level and make big money. So you have to pick a side. The first side to hire you is often the side you pick. Think of it this way. You want to wrestle or play football at a high level. Maybe your goal is to go play football at Texas A&M or Alabama. That's your goal in your mind. I'm an Alabama starter. I'm going to go down and be at this legendary school. And that doesn't happen. So maybe it's Kentucky or it's Texas A&M or it's Colorado or Colorado State, or someone comes and eventually then it's the Idaho, it's the Idaho Vikings. You're going to go play, and guess what? That's going to be your team. And probably after a while, you're going to go, you know what? I'm so glad I never went to Alabama. I wouldn't have started. It would have been this miserable experience. I would have been away from home. I've met all these friends. I love playing here. And it becomes your team. That's the dynamic with a lot of professional Republicans. They aren't truly Republican in nature. They're not truly conservative. They wanted to work in politics. One side hired them, so they've adopted it as their team. But in the case of college football, once you graduate, you step back and go, you know what, my team sucks. They can't do that because they're trapped in it. So they would never allow something like this. This is so well done. And it's President Trump and J.D. Vance driving around as Bo and Luke Duke. And if you're not on the video series, a video show, I can only beg you, maybe this is the reason you try it. Go get a 7-day free trial, video.thetoddhermanshow.com, or try to go find this on your own. Here it is, President Trump, J.D. Vance, and others in Dukes of Hazzard. The faces is so well done. The Dukes of MAGA. What is it? Dilly Meme Team. Congratulations, Dilly Meme Team. There's the scene where Bo and Luke Duke are doing, they're shooting arrows. The faces are spot on. Roscoe P. Coltrane is getting his gun put back in his pocket by J.D. Vance, who would be Luke Duke, because Bo's over there against General Lee. And that's Melania as, what was her name? Oh, I can't remember. Daisy, the cousin Daisy. By the way, that was an inside joke on the South, that both the boys were kind of romantically interested in cousin Daisy, and never, thank God, did anything because they were cousins and all. Well, that was Barack Obama. That was Obama as the cop letting Daisy off of a ticket because she's pretty. Okay, so then we get the figure. So there is the figurehead Biden as Roscoe P. Coltrane driving the car with Kamala Harris next to him. Now, I don't like the fact that they put Cammy's face on a dog. I mean, don't do that. Rush Limbaugh as Uncle Jesse. Now, the fact is, Rush would never play a role other than a starring role in a TV show because he never had to, but that's a stroke of genius. Man, that's so good. That's so good. The cultural shift with things like this are vital and important because it takes from the left the ability to come to us and scare us by calling us racists.